Hi, I'm John Stewart, Chief Investment Officer of Farmers Trust Company. This is the Investor's Edge.
The Investor's Edge, Market Insights with John Stewart, is brought to you by Farmers Trust Company.
Hi, I'm John Stewart. Welcome to the Investor's Edge. First up, the week in review, China market mayhem. Well, with a lot of investors focused on U.S. tech stock earnings reports out this past week, some folks might have missed that there were fireworks coming out of China when the Chinese government cracked down on its own large tech firms, sending shares plummeting, with emerging market stock indexes and mutual funds following suit. A lot of the well-known Chinese companies like Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu were all down in excess of 10% last week. It's important to keep in mind, however, that risk and volatility creates opportunity. In fact, the situations where investors perceive the most risk may actually be the least risky situations of all. It seems odd, but these are situations where price and valuation are lower to compensate investors for that perceived risk. We feel confident that emerging markets are actually a very good investment opportunity right now. Those include, but are not limited to, China. There are three reasons essentially why. First of all, I mentioned valuation. You're paying about 60 cents on the dollar compared to US stocks for the same earning power in emerging markets. Also, you have in many emerging market countries better demographics and better growth potential. And third, you've got tailwinds from a weakening US dollar, which is a trend we expect to persist. Now keep in mind, emerging markets are still volatile and risky investments and should be only a modest part of a well-diversified long-term investment portfolio. I'd advise consulting with your investment advisor before investing. For this week's featured insight, follow the dividend growth. Well, sales growth is good, earnings growth is better, but the conservative investor may be best served by following companies that have consistent growth in their dividend payouts over time. Why dividends? Well, first of all, a company needs cash to pay them. So companies that consistently pay out dividends over the long run tend to have higher levels of trust in their reported financial numbers. Also, when a company raises its dividend, that's a very strong signal that management has confidence in the business going forward. Now, it is important to keep in mind that abnormally high dividend yields may be a sign that there could be some unknown risk factor on the horizon. In the current market, I'd say anything over 5% on the current dividend yield should warrant a little bit of extra scrutiny. What's more important is consistency and growth in the dividends over time. It's important to remember that any investment is simply worth the value of its future cash flows. So a company that consistently has growth in its dividend over time will have a stock price that really takes care of itself. There are many companies out there that have raised their dividends consecutively for 25, 30, and in some cases 50 or more years. So just sit back, relax, and let the dividends roll in. Looking ahead, get ready for back to school season. Well, unless COVID throws a wrench in the works, this is shaping up to be one of the best seasons for back to school shopping on record. Consumers are flush with cash, and confidence is running high based on this past week's Consumer Confidence Survey, which was actually the highest since February of 2020, of course before COVID reared its ugly head. So assuming everything goes according to plan and in-home schooling becomes a thing of the past, back-to-school shopping could provide the economy with its next leg of growth as we move into the back half of this year. The only bad news potentially is that expectations are already running sky high, so any disappointments, from the virus or otherwise, could be met with pressure from the markets, especially in the sectors that are most sensitive to the consumer. Once again, I'm John Stewart. Thank you for watching The Investor's Edge.
The Investor's Edge, Market Insights with John Stewart, is brought to you by Farmers Trust Company.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications. And also make sure to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For all of your business news, visit businessjournaldaily.com. For all of your arts and entertainment news, go to afterhoursyoungstown.com.